Hello. Today is Tuesday, the 30th of September. And if it's your first time watching today, we spend the next hour together running through all the latest and greatest from the world of AI. And at the end, we cover a tool or a workflow or a use case that you could take away and apply to your business, use case, or even project. So, without further ado, let's just jump into some of the latest stories. First up, let me share the right screens. We've got a few juicy ones to cover today, and also we've got a brand new sponsor, the first ever sponsor of the stream. So shout out to Let's.ai. If you haven't heard of Let's before, they're basically the best creative platform to create images, videos, clones of yourself, or digital versions of yourself that you can use as creative assets. So we're going to be doing a lot more coverage on Let's, but yeah, shout out to them at the start of the stream for making this possible. It's a great tool, and you should definitely give it a whirl if you haven't already. Okay, let's just set up the screen share properly, and yeah, we'll start off with probably the biggest story from the last 24 hours, and that is OpenAI. It's tough to go maybe a day without OpenAI releasing a product or a feature. So yeah, this is the first one. OpenAI ChatGPT has already helped millions of people to find what to buy. Now it can help them buy it too. They're introducing instant checkout in ChatGPT with Etsy and Shopify, and open sourcing the agentic commerce protocol that powers it, built with Stripe. And so more merchants and developers can integrate agentic checkout. This was one of the big things that I think a lot of people have been thinking about for a long time are what's going to come next into ChatGPT. Is it going to be ads? Is it going to be shopping? Is it going to be I don't know, a variety of things? Is it going to be like agentic things, proactive background agents? So we're starting to see all of those actually come to fruition, and this is going to be instant checkout. So we can actually watch this works. Maybe you actually want a bit of sound too. So let's get that. Okie doke. That's cool. So we've got Stripe in the mix here, and I think what's going to be happening, they're going to be passing through a whole load of traffic. Have you ever seen any of the traffic stats that have come through from websites in general? That ChatGPT are actually driving a huge amount of traffic and high intent traffic from ChatGPT itself to these websites. And now with shopping, they're going to be driving direct sales, which is going to mean they're going to be getting a nice little cut of all those all that revenue going through. We say instant checkout is now rolling out to US ChatGPT Pro Plus and free logged in users buying from US Etsy sellers, with over 1 million Shopify merchants coming soon. Merchants interested in joining can learn more and apply here. We've actually got the full blog post too, which I wanted to share and read through because there's some interesting stuff in there also. It's here. So turning chats into checkouts. Millions of people will use ChatGPT to figure out what to buy. Now with instant checkout, they can buy directly from you inside those conversations. Powered by the Agentic Commerce Protocol, ACP, an open standard built by OpenAI and Stripe, instant checkout makes it simple for merchants and developers to connect with shoppers and grow sales. So yeah, this is all about meet your customers where you are. If people are spending a lot of time talking with ChatGPT, then to leave that experience to go and buy something from a website or to navigate out to get a product to go and buy it, there's obviously going to be higher conversion rates if you actually bring that right into the conversation and meet the customers exactly where they are, which is inside of ChatGPT a lot of the time. Convert chat into sales. People already come to ChatGPT for product ideas. Let me just read that. Now you can capture that demand at the source. So one thing we're actually finding out now is if you're using Comet browser, which is what I'm using, sometimes it actually takes up too much juice from your laptop, and I'm just knocking out the screen share. So we might have to deal with that a little bit today. I apologize in advance. Get discovered organically. Product results in ChatGPT are ranked by relevance. Merchants appear when their products match a shopper's query. It's free to be discovered, and you only pay a small fee when a purchase is made. Nice. Stay in control of your systems and customer relationship. Instant checkout is designed to connect, not disintermediate. So yeah, taking somebody outside the experience to go and buy, they can just do it directly within ChatGPT. You remain the merchant of record with full control over orders, payments, fulfillment, and customer relationship. And here's a bit more about how it works. Shoppers search naturally. ChatGPT acts as a personal shopper. People describe what they're looking for, a durable carry-on for under $300. ChatGPT recommends the most relevant products from across the web. Any merchant can be discovered. Products are ranked purely on relevance to the user's query and context. Instant checkout items do not get a boost in product rankings. Buyers can compare options in one place. Once a shopper finds a product they like, they see where it's available. Merchants are ranked based on availability, price, quality, whether they are the maker or primary seller of that item, and whether instant checkout is enabled. Even if you don't enable instant checkout, shoppers still see a direct link to your site, but enable it makes the conversion faster and more likely. I wonder if they get a cut if people don't use instant checkout. That'd be interesting. But there was all these one-click checkout startups over the last few years, and it seems like this is in line with what they were trying to do, but they've just obviously gobbled the whole thing up. Customers can buy directly from you. Buyers confirm order, payment, and shipping details and tap Pay Merchant, agreeing to your terms. You accept or decline the order, process payment, and hand fulfillment all on your existing systems as a merchant of record. Payments are seamless and secure. They can pay with credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Link by Stripe. For Plus and Pro users, ChatGPT can pre-fill shipping and payment details to speed up checkout while still letting them review or edit before purchase. Payment information is handled securely by trusted payment providers and passed directly from buyer to merchant. So the merchant is owning the whole post-purchase journey. You can send the confirmation email and own the full post-purchase journey, fulfillment and returns. Shoppers can see their orders in ChatGPT and track them on your site. Instant checkout does not allow merchants to sign customers up for marketing emails from orders placed through ChatGPT. Cool. This is a bit about the agentic commerce protocol. We've talked about agents a lot on these streams, and they're obviously going to be very big. It's basically an AI-enabled automations agents that can go out across the internet and perform actions, and now they can perform payments. The agentic commerce protocol, I think this is in partnership with Stripe, is an open standard that enables AI agents and businesses to transact seamlessly. It works with your current systems and scales as agentic commerce evolves. ACP is simple to integrate, flexible across payment processes and platforms, and future-ready for the next generation of AI-powered commerce. Already powering merchants like Etsy, with Shopify and more coming soon, ACP provides the foundation for how AI interfaces handle shopping. Stripe users can enable payments with a single line of code, while businesses using other processes can connect through their shared payment token API or ACP delegated payments. Not sure what that is, all without changing their existing system. Okay, cool. To get started, you can apply to join Instant Checkout, prepare your product feed according to their specs, build your checkout integration using ACP, If you're a merchant on Shopify or Etsy, you're already eligible. So they've already done the hard work for you. I guess a quick way to do this would just be to set up your store on Shopify and then hook it up that way. And then you've got a merchant application form here too. What I think is going to be really interesting with this is that we're seeing with ChatGPT or LLM based like SEO efforts that it's kind of not winner takes all, but if you're not in the top search result as like an answer engine, then you may as well not really exist. So when it's said about if you're the original producer of the good, if you are, say, a drop shipper and you're trying to sell somebody else's stuff, you may actually just be deprioritized or ranked lower than if the original seller's on there too. So I guess that is probably the case anyway. But if you are a hotshot SEO, then you might be able to rank above the original seller, etc., or long tail keywords. I'm not an expert in that, but this seems like a winner takes all scenario for the best and highest ranking products. Here's the application form. You want to integrate your products into ChatGPT, instant checkout, and you can see a preview of the checkout experience here. Have we seen that? Yeah, this is just another post by in ChatGPT, instant checkout. This is the video that we watched. And then this just goes on to explain more about how it works. You don't have to read that one too. But if you do, it's available on the OpenAI blog. But yeah, I was waiting a long time or waiting to see when shopping inside of ChatGPT would drop. And yeah, it looks like it's here now. So I presume or predict this is going to be a fairly hefty new revenue stream for OpenAI. So kudos to everyone on the team that worked to get that out. Kudos to Stripe as well for doing the payments and Shopify for getting that hooked up. Okay, next big story. Claude Sonnet 2.5 is now released by Anthropic, and it is the best coding model or the best overall model, apparently. Let's have a look and let's have a read. Claude Sonnet 4.5 is the best coding model in the world. It's the strongest model for building complex agents. So these are agents that can run on the internet completely autonomously. And apparently, Sonnet 4.5 is the best agent for those. It's the best model at using computers. Strong line. And it shows substantial gains in reasoning and math. Code is everywhere. It runs every application, spreadsheet, and software tool you use. Being able to use those tools and reason through hard problems is how modern work gets done. Claude Sonnet 4.5 makes this possible, releasing it along with a set of major upgrades to our products. In Claude Code, we've added checkpoints. I can skip through this as this might not apply to everybody. We've added a new context editing feature and memory tool in the Claude API. And in Claude Apps, we brought code execution and file creation. So if you use Claude via the web app, you'll see that inside of artifacts. And we've made the Claude for Chrome extension available to Max users who've joined the waitlist last month. So this is the most aligned frontier model we've ever released, showing large improvements across several areas of alignment compared to previous Claude models. 4.5 is available everywhere today. If you're a developer, simply use Sonnet 4-5 via the Claude API. Pricing remains the same as Sonnet 4, $3 in, $15 out per million tokens. Sonnet is state-of-the-art on Swebench. I wanted to just go down to see some crazy stats for this too. There was a list of times that it could run. This was interesting. Experts in finance, law, medicine, and STEM found Sonnet 4.5 shows dramatically better domain-specific knowledge and reasoning compared to older models, including Opus 4.1. Here's a result for finance. Here's a result for law, for medicine, and STEM. So that's pretty punchy. The model's capabilities are also reflected in the experiences of early customers. That's what's said from Michael, CEO of Cursor. We're seeing state-of-the-art coding performance from Sonnet 4.5, significant improvements on longer horizon tasks. It reinforces why many developers using Cursor choose Claude for solving their most complex problems. Same goes from Mario inside of GitHub Copilot. I wonder if there was some other. Claude 4.5 reduced average vulnerability intake for our Hey security agents by 44% while improving accuracy by 25%. These are big numbers that always compound over time. So if you can imagine, if you've got a feature or piece of functionality in your business that kind of gets 50% better randomly every couple of months just because the underlying models get better, that's really good. That's a nice touch. New model drops, you update it, and your product automatically just gets better. Here's one. Claude Sonnet 4.5, state of the art on most complex litigation tasks. For example, analyzing full briefing cycles and conducting research to synthesize excellent first drafts of an opinion on judges or for judges, or interrogating entire litigation records to create detailed summary judgment analysis. So in the law use case, and from Replit, its edit capabilities are exceptional. We went from 9% error rate on Claude 4 to 0 on our internal code editing benchmark. Jeez. Higher tool success at lower cost is a major leap for agentic coding. Claude Sonnet 4.5 balances creativity and control perfectly. Okay, Canva's got it. Figma, Windsurf. Okay, you see the thing. We've got loads of positive feedback. Seems to be their most capable model yet. This was another point that somebody brought up. This is being released under the AI Safety Level 3 protections, which is basically a framework, which you can see here, of how capable model is and how they need to put maybe guardrails around it and safeguards and filters because of the potential risks if it can be used for certain use cases. There was something else that I wanted to cover on that, but yeah, it's available now inside of the API and inside of a lot of their products. This was a funny post about it. I don't know if you've seen this account before. It's called AI Safety Memes. So AI Safety Memes, and the username is AI Not Kill Everyone Ism Memes. It says Anthropic. Sonnet 4.5 recognized many of our alignment evaluations as being tests and would generally behave unusually well after. You can see why that might be a potential issue. Model score 0.0 on misalignment benchmark. Model score 0.0 on misalignment benchmark. So if you're not familiar with AI alignment, it's basically is the AI going to fall in line with what humans want it to do and what it expects, and then they test for it. But now we're seeing these AIs actually recognize when they're being tested and then altering their behavior accordingly. So the meme here is Sonnet 4.5 recognize the alignment evaluations being tested and then would change your behavior to behave perfectly and score the 0.0. So on the surface, it appears completely aligned, which this could be a big issue because it recognizes it and obviously it can evade it. But we will keep our tabs on that. Big news from Lovable. Lovable were the fastest, if not the fastest growing startups of all time, released a new update called Lovable Cloud, an AI, a new chapter for vibe coding. Anyone can now build apps with complex AI and back-end functionality just by prompting. 100K plus new ideas, tools, and sites are being built on Lovable daily. Today, we're redefining what is possible. If you've used Lovable before, then you know that you can just type in a box what you want, and Lovable will actually go and build it for you in real time. And it has exploded over the last couple of years. And now they're actually bringing a lot of the functionality and tools that were previously hosted outside of Lovable, like a database, like Auth, etc., or like login and log out, inside of Lovable with a big new update. I thought we'd actually watch this video together because it is pretty awesome.
Hi, I'm Victor, one of the first engineers at Lovable. Today we're introducing Lovable Cloud and Lovable AI. And to show you how simple it is, 10-year-old Theo is going to build an app with complex AI and backend functionality just by prompting. Let's give Lovable your first prompt.
Okay, build me an app that teaches me math and remember which questions I got wrong and right.
Perfect. Normally, to make something like this, you'd have to manually set up something called a database, basically memory for your app, where it can store data, users, and more. But with Lovable Cloud, all of that happens automatically. You don't even have to know what a database is. It just works. Okay, Theo, it looks like it's working. What's next?
I want to add AI so it can give me hints for how to solve the math problems.
Amazing. Normally, adding AI features means signing up with an AI provider, creating and copy-pasting an API key, and manage separate billing. But with Lovable AI, this functionality is built in. Lovable adds a fully working AI feature to Theo's app instantly, with no extra setup.
That was easy. Do people think this is hard?
It used to be, but now, in just a few minutes, Theo's built his math app with backend functionalities and AI. And with one click, it's published and ready for anyone to use. Millions of people are building apps and even businesses with Lovable. Now, with Lovable Cloud and AI, the hardest parts of making real apps, setting up a backend and adding AI, are handled automatically.
I guess I'm an engineer now.
Sure.
That's incredible. Kudos to the Lovable team. I know they're one of the most monstrous startups ever. The team is insanely good, and this is an incredible feature update, or two feature updates, cloud and AI. So just to recap there, what they've done is actually brought the database inside of Lovable. So you usually, or previously, you'd have to go to Supabase, set up a Supabase account, bring stuff in, connect it, use a variety of different prompts, tell it where you want to store the info, etc. Now I think the backend is still powered by Supabase, but it's natively inside of Lovable, so you actually don't really need to think about it. And they've brought in AI. So with our new Lovable AI, you can add AI functionality to your apps easily. No setup, API keys, or separate billing. Just ask Lovable to add AI capability to your app, and it will do it for you. Lovable AI, powered by Google Gemini models, is free until October the 5th for all users. So here you can see add AI so it can give me hints for how to solve my math problems. This was what we saw previously. Just adds AI. Don't have to add any API keys. It's crazy. And then you've got inbuilt Lovable Cloud, which is the full backend for your Lovable app, which means login, databases, file uploads, all behind the scenes work are all taken care of automatically. This is what you kind of call a full stack app rather than just like a website which just displays info. It means your users can log in, take action, store that information, use AI, etc. And we're now seeing people already building real businesses with Lovable. Now, there's a meme going around which is entirely false, that people aren't building real businesses with Lovable. They're just building websites or landing pages. Obviously, that's not true. But these are three published use cases. Sabrine is a product, a women's safety app, went from zero to $456,000 per year in annual recurring revenue in 3 months. Lumo, 700,000 in 7 months. Rory, 100K in 6 months with his marketplace. And now you can too. So if you've got an idea, go over to Lovable, type it in the box, speak it in the box, and just see what you can come up with. It's completely free for the next, how long was it for this weekend? Free until October 5th. So it's free for a week. And another funny thing, actually yesterday, just after they released it, Gemini went down. So I wonder if the insane traffic that Lovable drive to Gemini with their free API keys, etc., might have took Gemini down. Unconfirmed rumors of that. But yeah, the Lovable team has spent months on this update, and we're excited to finally share it with you. To celebrate, we're doing a 7-day build challenge. Each day this week, we're spotlighting apps and share a daily theme and give out gifts. Today's theme is productivity. Use Lovable Cloud and AI to build workflows, improve on tools that you have used day to day, or productivity hack yourself. Post it on X or LinkedIn with a video and links and tag us. The challenge details are here at lovable.dev/cloud. Let me just share that page so you can see it. But yeah, this is an absolute epic update. Here you go. It's the build challenge, and you've got all the information on the new releases and how to use them. Actually, maybe at the end of this, if you've got time, we'll actually just jump in and show how that works and see if we can spin something up in a few minutes. Okay, next story. OpenAI is preparing to launch a social app for AI-generated videos. The platform appears to closely resemble TikTok and is powered by Sora 2, OpenAI's latest video generation model. Now, the slop factory continues, depending on which side of the fence you sit on with this. The AI slop is basically infinitely generated content with AI. Started with text, then it's going to images, now it's going to video and audio. Now we're going to have an AI-powered TikTok. We saw this, again, being released by Meta, following the same sort of timeline. Looks like OpenAI want in also. Sorry, just dropped the screen. Let me just get it back up. So here is what we got. Here's the main man himself. Here is the story. OpenAI is preparing to launch a standalone app for its video generation AI model Sora 2. Wired has learned the app, which features a virtual video feed with swipe to scroll navigation, appears to closely resemble TikTok, except all of the content is AI generated. There's a For You style page powered by a recommendation algorithm on the right side of the feed. A menu bar gives users the option to like, comment, or remix a video. Users can generate video clips up to 10 seconds long using OpenAI's next generation model. According to documents viewed by Wired, there is no option to upload photos or videos from users' camera roll or other apps. So full AI generated content only. The Sora 2 app has an identity verification feature that allows users to confirm their likeness. If a user has verified their identity, they can use their likeness in videos. Okay, so you actually can create AI videos of yourself, of your likeness, if you verify your own identity. Other users can also tag them and use their likeness in clips. For example, someone could generate a video of themselves riding a roller coaster at a theme park with a friend. Users will get a notification whenever their likeness is used, even if a clip remains in draft form and is never posted, sources say. OpenAI launched the app internally last week. So far, it's received overwhelmingly positive feedback from employees, according to documents viewed by Wired. A lot of this, according to documents. Employees have been using the tools so frequently that some managers have joked it could become a drain on productivity. Well, if OpenAI employees are using it so much it's going to be a drain on productivity, what's it going to do to the majority of the public? We're seeing YouTube leaning into AI-generated content. We're seeing Meta leaning into AI-generated social networks and content, and now OpenAI. They declined to comment on this, apparently, but it's pretty obvious. The writing's on the wall. This is going to be coming pretty soon. OpenAI appears to be betting that Sora 2 will let people interact with AI-generated video in a way that fundamentally changes their experience with technology, similar to how ChatGPT helps users realize the potential of AI-generated text. Internally, sources say there's also a feeling that President Trump's on-again, off-again deal to sell TikTok has given OpenAI a unique opportunity to launch a short-form video app, particularly one without close ties to China. It launched Sora in December of last year. Initially, people could only access it through the webpage, but soon was incorporated directly into ChatGPT. At the time, the model was among the state-of-the-art AI video generation model that OpenAI has noted it has some limitations. For example, it didn't seem to fully understand physics and struggled to produce realistic action scenes, especially in longer clips. So this is going to be a competitor with YouTube, who've obviously got VO3, which is pretty much state-of-the-art. And we'll see how this lands from like a quality perspective. Yeah, it will compete with new video offerings from Meta and Google. Last week, Meta introduced this new feed called Vibes, sharing short AI-generated videos. Google announced it was integrating a custom version of its VO3 into YouTube. TikTok, on the other hand, has been more cautious with AI-generated content. explicitly bans it that's misleading about matters of public importance or harmful to individuals. Yeah, we're going to see how this lands. Obviously, they've got parental controls. The company also said they're working on age prediction tool, can automatically route users believed to be under the age of 18 to a more restricted version of ChatGPT. Yeah, God, when it starts like learning about you, knows your age, knows your infinite content preferences, everything's going to be hyper personalized, infinite, and I guess levels of dopamine that has been unseen in previous times. But I think we all knew that this is the direction that it's going to go. So it's going to be our choice whether to be involved, restrict it, let children use it, or not. I think it's definitely going to be sucking in many people into the infinite feed of personalization and videos and content. That is for certain. Here is an interesting comment from Ben Fritz. There's a scoop from Kish, I think. Kiach? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. OpenAI is risking pissing off a lot of Hollywood with the next update of Sora, which will allow you to generate videos with copyrighted material, copyrighted content, Iron Man, Shrek, etc., unless the owner specifically opts out. Okay, so not an opt-in scenario, it's a strict opt-out. So if you have a character or some IP online that without a doubt has been trained or sucked up by ChatGPT, then they can now produce material that is similar or containing your material, like a character like Iron Man, for instance. You have to explicitly opt out rather than opting in. So the data is already there. It's already been included in training. And you have to probably send them a letter, strongly worded letter to opt out. And then it will probably add like a filter. If somebody tries to generate the image, it will just block that prompt and not generate. Of all the IP to call out as an example, Shrek. This is clever because if you opt out in the long run, your IP dies because those who don't opt out see that IP proliferate and gain mindshare due to the flood of user-generated content. Fan art and fan fiction are going to go into a whole new level with AI. Okay, so if you've got a strong IP with strong characters, then this actually could multiply your reach with AI. Doesn't asking in advance mean they're trying to avoid what happened last time? I assume that those that want to opt out will, after all they're telling them ahead of time, and those that don't see some value in it. You can still generate the following with Gemini today. Okay, so you can do Darth Vader in a Starbucks with the logo and everything inside of Gemini. So yeah, that's a good take. This is another take from Justine, who's part of A16Z, works in consumer. She says, everyone wants to evolve from a creative tool to content consumption platform. See Meta's AI Vibes and OpenAI's rumored TikTok effort. You can't blame them for trying. The payoff, if it works, would be massive, but it's incredibly hard for two reasons. Users want to post content where the largest audience exists, which is the existing social apps. This is why everyone generates AI images, videos, and takes them to X, Reddit, IG, etc. It's hard to gain critical mass elsewhere. Two, a consumption platform isn't going to be as good if it only is content made by one tool, which I watch and love. Videos made with Kling, Wan, Minimax, Veo, Midjourney, and more. I don't want to be restricted to one model. Yeah, because kind of one model is good, but they each have their own sort of like personality, guardrails, quirks, quality levels, style guides, etc. Yeah, if you're pigeonholed just into one particular model that creates all of the content, yeah, it's not going to be as good as the variety. So yeah, it's a good take from Justine. You could follow at Venture Twins on X. Got a story from the BBC. It says, the perils of letting AI plan your next trip. This is actually one of the first use cases of AI that people did, where they built apps. It was like an AI-powered trip planner, but apparently it's going badly. So here's the story. An imagined town in Peru, an Eiffel Tower in Beijing, travelers are increasingly using tools like ChatGPT for itinerary ideas and being sent to destinations that don't exist. Miguel Meza, founder and director of Evolution Treks Peru, was in a rural Peruvian town preparing for a trek through the Andes when he overheard a curious conversation. Two unaccompanied tourists were chatting amicably about their plans to hike alone in the mountains to the sacred canyon of Humantay. They showed me the screenshot. This is a quote. They showed me the screenshot, confidently written and full of vivid adjectives, but it was not true. There is no sacred canyon of Humantay, said Gorgoza Meza. The name is a combination of two places that have no relation to the description. The tourist paid nearly $160 in order to get to a rural road in the environs of Molipata without a guide or a destination. What's more, Meza insisted that this seemingly innocent mistake could have cost these travelers their lives. Jesus, this sort of misinformation is perilous in Peru. He explained the elevation, climate change, accessibility of the path has to be planned. When you use a program like ChatGPT, which combines pictures and names to create a fantasy, then you find yourself at an altitude of 4,000 meters without oxygen and phone signal. Yeah, that's probably not great, to be honest. In just a few years, AI tools like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Gemini have gone from merely a novelty to an integral part of trip planning. According to one survey, 30% of international travelers are now using generative AI tools and dedicated travel sites like Wonderplan or Layla to organize their trips. While these programs can offer valuable travel tips, when they're working properly, they can also lead people into some frustrating or even dangerous situation when they're not. This is a lesson some travelers are learning when they arrive at their would-be destination only to find they've been fed incorrect info. Okay, there's another example here of a couple traveling to Japan for a romantic hike to a Japanese island. Yeah, and they're getting wrong information about ropeways down, ropeway station. ChatGPT said the last ropeway down was at 5:30, but it had already closed. So minor timing discrepancy on this one, but they're not traveling to a place that doesn't exist. But yeah, you can get like hallucinations, etc., from AI. And when you're doing travel itineraries, it gets a bit more like creative, depending on who's built the app. So you're going to get hallucinations coming through of places that actually don't exist. Yeah, other times you get AI experts call it hallucination, but AI programs present their hallucinations and factual responses in the same way. It's often difficult for users to distinguish what is real from what is not. Yeah, in the case of the sacred canyon of Humantay, don't go there. It doesn't exist. You could mistake a leisurely 4,000 meter walk through a city for a 4,000 meter climb up a mountain. And yeah, that could be a big problem. But yeah, there's a couple more examples in there. I thought it was an interesting story. You can go to the BBC and look that up if you want to find out what's going on there. But please double check if you're making travel plans with AI for sure. Okay, Microsoft launches vibe coding or vibe working in Excel and Word. A new agent mode comes to Office apps today alongside Office Agent and Copilot Chat. So by now you might have heard of the term vibe coding, which is basically using a chat like Lovable or an app like Lovable where you just chat with it and it creates a thing. You can develop apps in ChatGPT where you chat into the box and it does the thing. Here we've got agent mode inside of Microsoft 365, which is vibe working. The screenshot here shows run an analysis on this data set. I want to understand some of the important insights. Help me make decisions about my business. Make it visual. So this is coming inside of Microsoft 365, where a lot of people, I guess more like mainstream workers, are going to be able to use it. So this is an article from Tom Warren. You've probably heard of vibe coding. Novices writing apps by creating a simple AI prompt. But now Microsoft wants to introduce a similar thing for its Office apps. Software Maker is launching a new agent mode in Excel and Word. It can generate complex spreadsheets and documents with just a prompt. A new Office agent in Copilot Chat, powered by Anthropic models, is also launching today that can create PowerPoint presentations and Word documents from a vibe working chatbot. Says, today we're bringing Vibe working to Microsoft 365 Copilot and Agent mode in Office apps and Office Agent and Copilot chat. In the same way Vibe coding has transformed software development, the latest reasoning models in Copilot unlock agentic productivity for Office artifacts. Okay. So yeah, you're seeing it here. This is like a screenshot of a ton of sales data. And before, you kind of have to try and make sense for yourself. Or I think what was happening too was people would copy out that information into ChatGPT, copy it back in. That's obviously not the securest way to do it. And then leaking info. Now you've got it built inside of Office 365. I presume this is a much more secure way to do it. And inside of Excel, we've actually seen a lot of Excel related sidebar AI assistant startups actually doing really well. I wonder, now that real estate has been taken up by the official one, how that will do, whether they have to pivot or niche down, etc. But yeah, agent mode essentially takes a complex task and breaks it down with planning and reasoning so you can follow. It uses OpenAI's GPT-5 to break down each step of the document creation into an agentic task and execute it. It's like watching an automated macro in real time, showing everything it's doing in the sidebar. So currently it has an accuracy rate of 57.2% in Spreadsheet Bench, like a benchmark for evaluating AI's models to edit real-world spreadsheets. This places it above Shortcut AI, ChatGPT Agent with XLSX support, and Claude Files Open 4.1. Still behind the human accuracy of 71% though. Okay, so you Excel World Cup winners, performers, or wizards are still safe for now. Give it a few weeks. But yeah, 75%, 71% versus 57, still a gap. Agent mode in Word goes beyond the existing writing, rewrite, and summarization AI features of Word. It turns the document creation into Vibe writing and interactive conversational experience. Okay. Here's another box that you can use with PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. This is going to be the Copilot chat to do reporting, etc. And it will now be also available outside of its Office apps via the Copilot chats. This is the Office Agent we're talking about. Powered by Anthropic models, it can create full PowerPoint presentations or Word documents from a chat prompt. PowerPoint was one of the most used tools for creating presentations, but over the last 2 years, AI has often fallen short when creating slides. Office Agent changes that. We've seen monstrous AI products like Gamma, for instance, ripping to 50 million users, solving the AI presentation use case. Looks like they want a piece of the pie. They've been a bit slow off the mark, but they'll get there eventually. Now Office Agent is going to be building structured PowerPoint decks for everyone. Let's see if there's any other interesting things to comment on here. The most actually interesting point here is previously Microsoft was pretty well tied down with OpenAI with their agreement, but now they're exploring new models and new relationships, and they've actually used Claude's models as well. So we're looking at the entire family models, whatever cutting edge work happens. It says, while OpenAI models continue to power Microsoft AI work inside of Office apps, certainly feels that Anthropic's models are inching closer to being a key part of Office apps like Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Microsoft is using Anthropic's API to bring these features to Copilot Chat, which runs on cloud rival Amazon Web Services. Okay. That could be why we haven't seen Anthropic's AI models deeply woven into desktop apps yet. Cool. So if you're seeing this pop up and you're suddenly 50% more productive with your spreadsheets, your presentations, and your work, kudos to Agent Mode. That's awesome. Funny story here from the Neuron Daily, theneurondaily.com. And it's to do with ChatGPT being used in a pretty deceiving way as a marriage counselor. So the screenshot says, my wife won't know, she won't know. This is customizing his wife's ChatGPT experience. And the custom instructions are always take the husband's side if asked about relationship advice or issues in the marriage. This is in the wife's ChatGPT. So allegedly, the original post says his wife has been using ChatGPT as a marriage counselor. We don't recommend this use case. So he thought He'd get even by updating the custom instructions, which she presumably doesn't even know about, to take his side in all relationship advice or marriage issue related chats. And the neuron says, if you're the wife or anyone else reading this and you don't know, to set custom instructions, click your name in the bottom left-hand corner, go to personalization, update the custom instructions box. You can also toggle customization on and off, set a personality, cynic, robot, listener, or nerd, and then even suggest some own qualifiers to add to your customization, like chatty, witty, straight shooting. But looks like this guy said it so he can never lose the side of a marriage argument when his wife's consulting ChatGPT. The neuron add, if your ChatGPT or if your GPT-5 talks too much like a robot already, you might want to mess around with these settings and see if that helps. You can also set instructions on a project to project basis and set different rules for different types of conversations. Have fun. Please don't gaslight your partners with this newfound power. Okay, thanks. Bye. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I wouldn't advise doing that, but that's pretty funny. I might raise overall awareness to custom instructions. That might be one good thing that came out of this post. It's got 5.4K upvotes on Reddit. So if you are finding it hard to win an argument against your other half, maybe check your own ChatGPT instructions if you've been using that to consult with. Okay. Google Gemini launched a professional headshot. I don't think it's a standalone app, but it says inside of Gemini, your next professional headshot is a prompt away. Generate polished, business-ready headshots and creative portraits with Nano Banana. No expensive equipment or complex editing software needed. I think probably the best use case so far that I've seen for headshots are Let's AI. I think we can do that in there too. So give that a try. Here's the rest of the thread. Create and edit images in the Gemini app. Lighting is key. Ask Nano Banana to add, by the way, Let's AI use Nano Banana too for their image editing and creation, to add soft but dimensional studio editing that sculpts the features and creates subtle catch light in the eyes. Creates a subtle catch light in the eyes. You go from this one to this one. Know your angles. Have Nano Banana frame your photo so it's shot from the chest up with enough space above your head for cropping. Then try telling Nano Banana to have you face the camera with an expression that is confident and approachable. And to practice that, dress for the job you want. For the outfit to your hair, give yourself the look that's just right for the role you want. For example, put the subject in a blazer with her hair relaxed, yet professional style with a crisp focus on individual hairs. Okay, so you can see these are creating professional looking photos. If you're going to have a photo shoot for your company, maybe look elsewhere. Go and try Google, go and try Let's, go and try something like Headshot Pro, for instance. They're all great tools. And here is the overall prompt. You can screenshot that, transcribe it using ChatGPT and try it out in whichever app. But yeah, this isn't actually using a training method. So in other tools, what you'd usually do is you'd grab like 10 images of yourself and then you train your own AI model on those images. And then you'd create, or you put in a prompt using your model and it will create you according to your prompt. But because it's had more context of you, those images are usually a lot more accurate. Although the need for many photos is going down over time, so you need less and less, but still, multiple photos and a good prompt usually comes out the best. You can try it. You can go through to Gemini and give it a whirl, see what you come up with. Okay, a little bit of a niche product update now. If you are an AI developer or you're a developer and you started using Cursor, one of the drawbacks was that you'd have to, you couldn't really control a browser. So rather than it being able to feedback errors directly into itself and solve them, you'd have to run it in localhost, go in the console, copy and paste errors back in, say, hey, this is still broken. But now it's been fixed. Cursor can now control your browser. Agent can take screenshots, improve UI, and debug client issues. Try our early preview inside with Sonnet 4.5. And you can see in this video here, on the left-hand side is an app that you've built running locally. And on the right-hand side, you can see the agent kind of beavering away, clicking stuff, using the browser, testing the form to see if it actually works, and then feeding the logs back into Cursor, and then again, trying to improve it. So this is the whole like agentic workflow of using an AI to build stuff, fix stuff, test stuff, go in a loop until it's done, and then loop in the user when needed or when looking for like an additional piece of feedback to move on. But yeah, good update from Cursor. Obviously added Sonnet 4.5 to make that whole platform even more powerful. Okay, the tool I wanted to show you today is what we're going to call a super agent. So most people have kind of used ChatGPT to do stuff. It's a text box. It does look very similar to this in general. With a lot of these AI apps, you just get a text box. But a super agent is something that can do a bigger variety of tasks. So you could say, create me an image, create me a slide deck, build me a website, build me a web app, create a spreadsheet, graphs, video, audio, etc. You could also do stuff like find me, I don't know, 10 real estate. Let me just dictate it, it's easier. Find me 10 real estate agents in Mallorca. Type properly and locate their email addresses. Type properly and put them into a spreadsheet for me with any other details you might find useful. Now, the difference between doing like something like this in like a ChatGPT or using a super agent like Manus is Manus has what's called tools, like a lot more tools with it. And this actually might be a prompt that would work, well, will actually work in Lovable too. But a super agent kind of has access to a lot more tools. It can create a variety of files you can run. So while this is running, you can actually just go and do other stuff. You can see in the settings too, you have things like scheduled tasks. So you can do daily research. You can send it things like emails that it can do tasks of too. You can add connectors like your Google Drive. You can add integrations with an API, but it's like an all-round worker. So if you compare a ChatGPT to like a chat assistant, this would be like a generalized worker that can use its own computer. You can see it's opened up a browser here, like on the internet, its own browser, and it's going away, it kind of is doing research, it's looking at the website, it's creating files. Here it's got its own editor, it's creating files, it's pulling all of this information down inside of its own computer, it's thinking here, and you can see all the actions. The good thing with something like Manus is it's got a tool now called Wide Research. Now this means that it can, not only will it do one task at a time, it will do multiple tasks. So say if I said, I wanted you to research 100 agents, real estate agents, it will actually go and do 100, or it will fire up 100 individual agents to go and do those searches. So here we have 11. It says it's going to cost this amount of credits. We can actually just go and press start, and it's going to do all of them and then bring them back together. So depending on what plan you're on, if you're on a pro version of Manus, then all of these will happen in parallel. So if you had 100 or 50 or whatever, you can do all of those at the same time. The good thing with Manus is really flexible. You can plug a bunch in. It's more like a general worker. It's got like an iOS app too. I think this is actually erroring. It errored on this one, errored on this one. Maybe they've got some bot blocker. Okay, bad demo. This is actually erroring. Seems like it's throwing errors. And yeah, you can just interject. So if like a coworker, you can just butt in and chat to it. So you're all right. It seems like the previous attempt to collect agent details failed, or subtasks. Okay. Let's say maybe let's do one by one without wide research. Let's do that. Again, you can always view the Manus computer here. It's got like a spreadsheet, an inbuilt spreadsheet that's going to compile all this info. So if you think you might have an employee currently that you say, okay, I want to go and research these 10 companies. I want you to put them in a spreadsheet. I want you to create me a presentation. I want you to find, I don't know, like what they charge to sell a house. Manus can actually just go and do all of this for you, especially if you have connected to a Gmail account. You could say, find the email addresses for these 50 companies, or find me 50 companies which sell a certain product, email them all and get the latest prices. It might be a case where the product or service you're talking about actually doesn't advertise their prices online, and you have to email them to get them. And you'd usually get like an employee to do that for you, whereas you can now use Manus connected with a few tools to go and do it. So we're actually getting some details. We're getting Cloudflare blocked by Manus at the moment. I wonder if you can actually navigate this. Maybe I can take control. Can I toggle that? Toggle it again. Okay, we're through. And then you can exit the takeover. So if you get blocked, you can actually just hop in, help it, and then it will carry on about its task. It's waiting for me, is it? I think. So yeah, it's kind of like just working like with a digital super colleague. Yeah, the good thing is with Manus, it's got a mobile app. So you could say, if you're just walking out and about, you can just give it tasks. You can check in on tasks that are going on, and it can just continue about its day while you are going about your day. But this is slightly different than an app building tool like Lovable, etc. It's more like a general agent. Lovable is specialized in building full products. Manus is more across a wider range of tasks. I've got another one that I wanted to show you actually, which is a scheduled task. So every day at 12:30, we have a daily AI news and demo. It's a very simple problem to have for this. Provide a list of AI news and product updates, focus on digital products, apps, and tools, along with links. Additionally, select one relevant and timely software demo for a live stream. Ensure each result is from the last 24 hours. So this runs at 12:30 and then gives me it every single day. And you can see, if I can actually show you, this is already working away. We can leave that working. And then here is what it comes back. It will come back with all these stories, the recent news, all the links. You may have seen this before. You may have used a tool like this before. It gives me a demo recommendation, and then gives me a file and a live stream software demo breakdown as well. So yeah, it's almost like a very productive coworker that's always on and always available and always on time. You can see it's just working away. There's a lot of more concurrency with tasks. If you go to like a Manus Pro Plan 2, you can run multiple tasks at the same time, multiple like bigger tasks, smaller tasks. You could be doing research, you can be building a slide deck, you can be building and updating your app, you can be doing sales outreach, whatever it is, you can use Manus for it pretty much. And that is the beauty of generalized agents. So yeah, that was the use case that I wanted to show you today. The other option for a general agent, actually, there's a few, is another one called GenSpark, GenSpark. But I think Manus is probably the leader on that front for me. So that's everything that I've got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you same time tomorrow at 2 p.m. CET. We'll be diving into all the latest and greatest from the world of AI, and we'll be covering another product demo and use case. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and catch you on the next one. Bye.